Importance of rest. In our life, especially in our fast-paced life, rest has become a luxury. We sometimes pay to actually go on a vacation just to give ourselves some rest. But how did that happen in the first place? To understand that, we must look at our activity. So we constantly work, we are doing one activity after the other, like a monkey jumping from one branch to the other. What does this do to us in the long run? What this does is it pushes our mind into a constant state of inertia, of constant action and activity. Now you'll ask, okay, so what? Isn't this normal for everyone? Yes, of course it is normal, but so is the normal and so is the problems coming with this normal. Okay, now we must understand this very easily. When we push ourselves into this constant state of activity, we are not only pushing our bodies, we are also pushing our mind into this state of inertia, into this state of activity. So if you remember your physics class, maybe in 6th or 7th standard, you will recall the law of motion by Newton. What does that state? It states that if an object is there in motion, it will continue to stay in motion unless an external force is applied on it to stop it. Now just imagine, the law of motion is not just limited to objects that are moving, so is our minds, so is our bodies. So for example, if our mind is constantly like an object which is always in motion, our bodies, they are always in motion, doing one activity after the other. For example, doing work, you got a 2-minute window. What did you do? Just pulled out your phone, you start scrolling it. You are again in motion. Your physical body, your thumbs are moving. Your mind constantly ingesting one reel after the other, trying to know about irrelevant information which may or may not be of any use to us in the long run. We are constantly in that state of activity. We are constantly consuming. And where does that leave any room for rest? Barely any. So what does that lead to? What does this constant state of inertia lead to? Now, the body will be there in motion. Even while you sleep, your mind is in activity. Even if you sleep for, let's say, 6 to 8 hours, you wake up and you feel drained. You felt like, okay, it was just like I passed out for some time. I did not really sleep. You don't feel well rested. You don't feel invigorated by the energy or the rest that sleep was supposed to bring you. So what is the solution? What actually happens? What is the impact of this constant state of activity? The impact is suffered, or the impact is observed on your physical body as a state of restlessness, as a state of jittery. You constantly keep fidgeting your legs. You constantly move your feet, your fingers, cracking your thumb, looking here and there. Constantly the body is in a state of jittery. Constantly the body in a state of restlessness. Now, if the body is in the state of restlessness, the mind is a direct reflection of the body. The mind is also in the same state of restlessness. You can simply look at somebody and you can tell this person has a very agitated mind. Since your body language is restless, it is very evident that your mind is also restless. And this restlessness gradually turns itself into what we call as constant stress and anxiety. Now, let's say you are put into a situation where you have no work, you have nothing to do. Now, this state of inertia is constant. Now, what do you think you'll do now? Either of the two things. You'll start to create work, or you'll make work out of nothing. Your mind is constantly adjusted to thinking. You'll start to think over things which are not supposed to be thought of in day-to-day lives. For example, if a person said something to you in a normal way, you will start to overthink it. Why? Is it the person's fault? No, it's just that the mind is constantly in that state of inertia. It needs something to do. It needs that. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult for it to survive. So it's just that the mind has attuned itself into such a way. Now, the impact that this stress, this restlessness, this anxiety that has created on our system is the lack of energy. This constant lack of energy that we have, which causes us to become irritable, which causes us to snap at our loved ones, our friends around us. Now, this needs fixing. This is the part that needs to be regulated. Now, how do we manage that thing in our day-to-day lives? How do we manage that? We manage it by consuming energy drinks, we manage by smoking, and we manage by other creative ways to make sure our energy is up, at least temporarily. But this temporary boosts of energy, it comes at a price, and we all know what price that is. Now, what is the solution to this? The solution actually very simple. Rest. Deep, proper rest. And rest not only for the body but also for the mind. Now, there are few things that you could do to give rest to your body. It not only includes regular rhythmic sleep at a specific interval, it also includes regular, nutritious, healthy food at regular intervals. For example, let's say you ate something in the morning and after maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, you start munching on something else. Then maybe after 30 minutes, you find yourself munching on something else. Then maybe after 2 hours, you are munching on something, you have your lunch by that time. So what this does is, it already puts the body into a state of constant digestion. The digestive juices are flowing before they could even digest your previous meal. So this puts your liver, your entire digestive system into a state of constant activity. So in order for you to rest, maybe you could do fasting in a week. That will help you to rest. Not just your body, but also your mind. That is one. Second, now giving rest to the body includes giving the body nutritious food at regular intervals, which gives the liver and the other digestive organs the time to deal with the previous meal, to completely digest it, and then to leave some window for itself to rest, to allow itself to rest. So when the liver is resting, your liver is actually causing detoxification of the blood. When the body is full of toxins, the body will naturally be very slow, very lethargic, and it will cause you to feel very low on energy. Okay. Now, when this energy low happens in your system, you start to become irritable. Now, that is why fasting and eating at fixed regular intervals helps you to make your energy levels go higher. Now, giving rest to the body. Sleeping at regular intervals helps you to make your energy level better at a regular interval. So we all have a circadian rhythm in the body. Our body gets adjusted to the natural circadian rhythm. When we adapt to that natural rhythm of the body and of the nature, we allow our body to align to its natural body clock, through which it invigorates, it detoxifies, and it energizes itself. That is what we mean by rest. Rest is not just limited to 6 to 8 hours of sleep. It is way more than that. Now, third thing, what can you do to rest your mind? Now, the mind has two sides. Your thinking, logical mind, which corresponds to your thought process, what you consciously think, and the thoughts that flow to you, that is one. Second is your emotional side. Now, let's first deal with the emotional side. Resting your mind on an emotional level includes spending time with people which are less emotionally exhausting. Everything that you do, it involves emotional energy from you. When you work, you're constantly using your emotional will, your emotional force to get the work done until it is finished. But that demands energy from you. When you're in that constant state, a point comes when you lose all of that, or when you use up all of that emotional energy, and when that happens, that phenomenon is called as burnout. Now, to help you fix that burnout, you need to spend time with people who make you feel uplifted emotionally. And when you do that for a prolonged period of time, your emotional energy starts to rise up. You start to feel better again. and you want to feel like going back to work. That is also rest. Now, coming to rest on the level of the mind, on the thought process level, is to do meditation. It can be any meditation. It can be simply the meditation on stillness that we had practiced in the previous video. You can simply do that and allow your mind to rest, allow the mind to come into stillness, allow the mind to become aware of itself and look at the things that are needed to be looked at. Thank you for being here. And remember, once your inner world shifts, your life also starts to shift with it.